Okay, it is currently 5:20 p.m. on Sunday, March 24th, 2022. Excuse me, 2024. I've been heavily referencing 2022. This is impossible light activity that is on my wall. The pattern of the blinds is present, and you are already aware, and it has been heavily documented what the entity was foolishly admitting to day in and day out. Okay, I want you to see though what is impossible under all circumstances while you are aware of what the entity was maintaining around me in an entirely different region for the duration of the day, which as I documented it at that time was not the natural environment. And as I document it, juxtaposing to where I'm at in Los Angeles, it is not the natural environment. And it is an admission against the people of the state who are going to be prosecuted as the state of California is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. What I want you to pay attention to is real time changing. This is demonic. This is absolutely impossible light activity. You are witnessing the operation of Satan that is being exposed and it's serving a criminal system. This demonic conduct that you're looking at that's appearing, it's speaking to the presence of Satan. So if you don't know what evil is, if you don't know what the presence of the demonic is, you're witnessing it as I'm showing you the light activity that's present. And you have seen it a plethora of times. For example, yesterday when you saw the flashing of light that appeared on my wall, and it's already impossible. There's no light that's going to appear in the shape of windows at the distance on the wall. And then as I spoke to the presence of the demonic, that is referencing Satan itself, the demon possessed that surround, the entity engages in flashing light activity. So what you're looking at there, you're looking at what is like fluorescent light. This is revealing to you what is very real. Okay. And the reason why the reason why you know that is because under no circumstances is it ever naturally occurring. It is literally impossible. Okay. So my ability to point out to you that which is invisible physically on people is visible by virtue of the environment that you're surrounded by. You can see it with your own eyes. You just didn't know what you were looking at. Okay. And with regard to the demonic, the demon possessed, Satan itself, I want you to be clear. There is an absence of any self-control. So as I speak truth to you about the presence of evil, about the reality of evil, and evil is not just present in the environment. Evil is present through people who are engaging in a criminal system. And so this is evil that's literally being surrounded with legislation, being surrounded with policies, being surrounded with rules, whereby evil is going to pay consequences in the physical for what is a pattern of conduct that it's been secretly engaged in. Okay. And this evil is happening amongst the people. And these people are in positions of government. These people are in front of your face, around you, in your family. You call them friends, and these are the demon possessed. And so let's get back to the pattern of conduct. It's 5:20. Currently, it's 5:23 p.m. You're looking at impossible light activity under all circumstances. And you've already seen the wealth of evidence and the day in and day out documentation of what was never normal, even before I reminded you about the body of evidence that already existed. In addition, the entity is engaging in the maintenance of what is a cloudy sky. Okay, so you're looking at the same exact environment. All right. The same exact impossible engagement of what is light that's supposedly coming through closed blinds, magnification of the blinds on the wall, and it's supposedly a cloudy day. Okay, that's also not going to happen. Light is not appearing in any concentrated manner on a supposedly cloudy day. This is that ongoing obsession that you are witnessing through the ongoing obsessive endeavor to stalk with light. And then you're looking at the frustrated purposes of Satan itself, while I point out how Satan lacks literally common sense. Okay. So this is a battle between, let me just break down to the ordinary person what it is that you're looking at so that you will never be confused ever again. But it is also serving for what is the prosecution of a government that's engaging in what is highly criminal. All right. And so while the entity is keeping a light source in Upland, California, while the entity is keeping a light source in Fontana, California, while the entity is keeping a light source in Ontario, California, which is already a matter of published documentation, not on any cloudy day, not on any other day is there ever going to be light that's appearing, okay? And this goes for what has already been captured in Los Angeles, in addition to what is the entity stalking directly, that is the demonic behavior, which is highly criminal on its face, that has been engaged in by the Los Angeles Police Department, which is, again, direct evidence to be used against the people of the state. And you have what is a very clear admission as to what is the presence of demons that surround you that are engaging in criminal activity. That's exactly what this serves as. And you also know that that's not possibly the sun. It's even you're looking at the same exact behavior, the same exact demonic environment, and it's supposed to be cloudy. Do you understand how foolish this is? This is how you are going to legally apply this in court. It's literally an admission by a foolish, yet very, very threatening, because I'm speaking on behalf of the ordinary targeted individual. The ordinary targeted individual is not equipped with documentation, does not have the legal skill set, does not have the ability to discern the presence of evil that is targeting you. And so while I am speaking to the reality of what is in no way impervious, what is in no way intelligent, do not in any way miss, because those are demons affiliated with corrupt law enforcement agencies. Those are demons that surround you by the masses, placing themselves in a position where they look similar to be in a substantially similar position that is with the target individual, and they're not. They're in the shoes of the state, and they're targeting you, and they're terrorizing you in a demonic environment. And under no circumstances is there going to be any sunlight that's appearing here while the entity maintained a light source in an entirely different city, an entirely different county. There's no light that's going to appear. In addition to, you have what was 7:30, 7:50 in the morning. Are you kidding me? And then you have on the opposite side of my apartment what you've seen day in and day out, the placement of engineer light. It's magnified in size. This is the presence of Satan, okay? This is entirely satanic. And this is letting you know what is the condition of everybody around you. This is letting you know what the criminal system that's engaged in by everybody around you, including those that are stalking, because that's what you're doing in the specific environment. They're stalking you. It's called group stalking. And that's what is telling you, that's what's telling about that demonic environment. So the entity heavily documented engaging in stalking by corrupt law enforcement agencies, stalking by the state that uses commercial airline planes, uses the small little planes, using venues such as the Los Angeles airport, LAX, using venues such as the Ontario airport to engage in using the people of the state, using commercial brands, FedEx, UPS, Amazon Prime, using planes to engage in the demonic behavioral pattern, which is the criminal elements of monitoring, criminal conduct on behalf of the government in a specific environment. It's the direct evidence. The people of the state, you're going to drain the pockets. Do you understand that? Okay? This is empowering the ordinary targeted individual. There is no explanation. There is no reconciling this admission ever. NASA cannot speak to it. Okay? Because the documentation that I would show, there is no NASA scientist that can get on and reconcile the fact that you have since, let's go, 7:30, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, from my living room window to my bedroom window. NASA cannot reconcile that, okay? And that's clear. This is irrebuttable. This is irreducible, insurmountable direct evidence against the people of the state who are going to be criminally prosecuted for federal group stalking and monitoring. And you're witnessing what is satanic. Remember, there's this here. It's across my pillow here. It's magnified in size over there. There's light activity as I move around. This is the reason why it's present. This is exactly what you saw in the living room. It's just a different color. And then all of a sudden, while Satan wants to make it a cloudy day, and I'm not going to mince words, I'm going to let you know the reality of what's going on. This is the presence of Satan. And whether you acknowledge any religious text or any affiliation with any religion whatsoever, I'm not getting into that. But what you must acknowledge, okay, whether you want to acknowledge or not, you can't deny the presence of this light activity and the impossibility that is present under all circumstances. You can't deny the fact that the sun is not present over one address for the duration of the day, that's not the sun. And I'm letting you know, I'm connecting the dots for you, okay? Wicked is very real. And wicked has a name, and it goes by the name of Satan. Satan uses people, okay? Satan uses people. Satan is a spirit. Satan is a spirit, and Satan uses people, and Satan is maliciously enabling people in a very specific environment. It's a demonic environment to target. Satan is highly malicious. Satan wants to appear normal. Satan wants to appear healthy. Satan wants to appear uninterested, going about that. No. Satan has its third eye, if you will, focused on you, group stalking you while they're living next door with their kids, with their husband, going to work 9 to 5. They're living in a relevant position, and they're stalking on an ongoing obsessive basis in violation of existing federal law. And by the way, they're doing that, and you know that because of the unnatural environment that surrounds you. And you need not know those demon-possessed group stalking, the names of those demon-possessed group stalkers, because the environment is the evidence of it. And so that's what we can all agree on, including any expert that you bring into the federal court. So I'm not going to mince words. And so it is exactly what I'm telling you. That's why it's here. And on no cloudy day is there ever going to be a sun that's going to appear. First of all, the sun is not going to be present from the beginning to the end of the day. That's what this is. Again, second of all, on a cloudy day, there's not going to be any light that's being concentrated into your into the closed blinds, number one, and then onto the wall in the same exact manner. You're looking at the same exact demonic environment. They changed the color and covered up the sky. And this is, again, that foolish, that foolish actor that is persuading nobody because you are smarter than that. You are not fooled by that. That's literally idiotic when you think about it and you look at it. How is it concentrated light appearing on my bedroom wall and it's supposedly cloudy? Meaning the sun is supposedly covering up the sun, but you're seeing the exact same impossible presence. First of all, it's over 8 hours. The sun is still here over my apartment. And then also the blinds are closed. And it's creating the same exact impossible light activity, magnified in size, appearing across the end of the wall in my bedroom. Okay. So, and also the pattern of conduct has already been established. The entity engages in light shows on my wall, on the ceiling. You saw light on the ceiling today, people. Okay. There is no mistake. I will not mince words. Okay. You are witnessing what is very real, whether you acknowledge it or not. We are going to agree based on what you can see with your eyes. We can see this light source. We can see that light activity. We can see the stalking behavior in this phenomenon, this environment, by these corrupt law enforcement agencies. That's a pattern that's been documented for you to see with your own eyes. There is nothing that I am unveiling to you that you are not able to witness yourself. That's why you document the pattern of conduct. It is not just the criminalization of what is demonic. It's not just letting you know about what is indeed demonic. It's the ability for you to witness it for yourself so you're not confused. And anything that is speaking the truth about something that is not physically evident, it's something that you will be able to see with your own eyes. It's not like I'm speaking in riddles and you have to have some special certification in order to know what I'm talking. No, that's a lie. And anybody that does that, they're lying to you. You are looking at everything that I've told you. You're looking at it. You're witnessing it with your own eyes. I'm letting you know about the demon possessed who surround, and every time you're seeing it with your own eyes. That demon possession is physically invisible, but you're looking at their behavior. That's how you're able to see the invisible. They're in the environment engaging in a behavioral pattern. That's how you're able to see the invisible. And you know, based on that, beyond a shadow of a doubt, what's going on and who is causing it. And that physical character, which is invisible, is capable of being captured and documented and forced to serve the consequences in a federal court, in a tribunal, facing a prosecution in a court. Understand that. It is not impervious to prosecution or identification. So you are looking at what is impossible under all circumstances. There will never be any sunlight on any day. And you have witnessed me document day in and day out the presence of light and a light source over my bedroom, over my office, the light source from the beginning till the end of the day. And that is the direct evidence. And there is no way to ever erase the record. And you only have to capture the invisible one time. I've been capturing it for a steady 6 months at least, I believe. I started in February when the entity decided to start threatening my life again by stalking by helicopter, because the entity never stopped monitoring me. They wanted to start threatening and tormenting me in a more vivid way, in a more tormenting manner, by stalking by helicopter to its own demise. But that's exactly what happened. And ever since they started that, you are looking at day in and day out, I've captured the phenomenon. You don't have to capture the phenomenon day in and day out. You only have to capture the impossible one time. One time, because it's impossible that you ever captured it. Capturing this here is speaking to what is never reaching the sky space in Florida, and that's the sun. Based on what we've been told about the natural environment. The sun that's over in Florida, that's 3 hours ahead of us, never reached the sky space of Florida. It stayed right here over Alvarado Gardens. And you know that based on the light activity. Any sun that's over Euclid Avenue and Arrow and Upland, California is not creating any light activity inside of my apartment. It's not visible over any hillside outside of my living room window or any apartment building outside of my bedroom window. It's not any light. It's certainly not occurring while the entity's light source is remaining present at those locations, at those venues, in a very specific position over my head. Okay, replete with what is light activity that surrounds me while that light source is over my head. And while then I'm in Los Angeles, a whole different area. So that means, the sun's never going to be in Los Angeles, because as a matter of documentation, it stays over the Upland Public Library from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. All right. So it's never reaching LA based on what the entity engaged in, because you are not looking at what is a light source that's supposed to be the sun that's over everyone everywhere for the duration of the day. It's not remaining over Alvarado Gardens and hovering over you in Florida, in Naples, Florida, in Tampa, Florida, and Texas and Las Vegas, Nevada in the same way for the duration of the day. No, that's not the sun. It's impossible. It's ascendant entity, just like I said. While I am showing you what is entirely unintelligent, I am exposing to you that which you cannot see with your eyes, and that is the condition of those who are criminally targeting in the United States. And it is federal group stalking and monitoring. And it is prefaced with the hallmark of that is the stalking conduct by the state itself. The state acts directly through these government agencies, through venues such as the courthouse, through venues such as police departments and sheriff's departments. And this is the entity that is also occurring while they engage in stalking directly. They're always doing it in a specific environment. That environment is unnatural. The light activity that's occurring in that unnatural environment is literally unnatural light. It's not even sunlight, and that's clearly not even the sun. You have seen all of that, and that's how you know, and that's what I will not mince words about, the presence of Satan. Okay? And that's what we can all agree on. And that's the purpose of documentation. We don't have to sit up and pontificate about religion. That's not what this is about. This is that which you cannot deny. Okay? So the entity is engaging in a pattern of conduct and place a light source, and it remains, and I want you to see at 5:20 p.m. It's currently 5:35 p.m. There is no light that's going to occur. This is the same exact pattern of conduct. Changing the color of it, the same exact impossible placement, the same exact maintenance of light. And by the way, when you engage in demonic conduct, that's documented to your own demise, and then you're very forgetful, and as though this is a checker game, and it's not. It's a long strategy type where you're talking about chess. The entity had light on my ceiling today. That tells you about the nature of what's going on in and of itself. This is not. You're not leaving common sense out of the tribunal. Okay, so like I said, you're not in any way, you are not ignorant. You are not a dummy, contrary to what the entity is necessarily relying on you to be. Relying on you to be an ignoramus, literally. All right, and I don't believe that that's not the case. All right, so it is currently 5:36 p.m. This is documentation of what is the maintenance of the light source. You see it covered up, and by the way, once you capture the phenomenon, it is unreasonable to suggest, and that's by virtue of what the entity sought to maliciously surround you with. Oh, since that's the natural environment, well, based on the rules of the natural environment, that phenomenon is present every single day. And that's, again, flipping that malice on its head, okay? It is currently 5:37 p.m. This is P.O.C.